safe move from them, knowing that IG have the Lissandra Lee Sin in the pocket. They don't want to have to pick it, and they don't want to give it over. Mid lane is still on the table as well. Try to think LeBlanc and Nivea also available. The Gnar is something that was banned last time to enable an early Renekton, so maybe we're just giving resources to Soboro, saying take the safest top laner on the patch.
Also giving some safety in the lane itself, where he's been bullied a couple times so far in this series, but still gonna have a big say in how these team fights kick off. We get Hope's Kai'Sa locked in with the Wukong from Tarzan here. Some very heavy skirmishing power from both jungle and bot lane right now for AL.
And this is really rough because you can't pick utility champs like the Malphite or the Maokai here, because if you do, there's a really free Sylas angle for AL, but it will be attention towards the bottom lane. Support still open. Rakan has slipped through the series as he will be picked up here. This does give legs to the IG bottom lane, but we saw that didn't work last time.
Yeah, it didn't. We'll see if it does this time. Some safety with these picks as well. And I know it's something that Jwei is very comfortable on. If it's not maybe his best, this is his best pick that just got picked up by Kael. The Alistar was available, but you'd rather go with the Lovers duo, and now it's Kael's.
I mean, you can tell they're going to be diving into you, so I guess the Xayah is kind of evident for that. But now we have to wonder what happens with the mid-jungle duo for IG. This is something that is going to get knocked out. I think the Mundo makes a lot of sense. We've seen Jwei pilot it as a great frontliner for the team. And when you have a Gnar, you kind of need a frontliner in the jungle. Do we get IG banning away Sylas to enable some of these utility AP junglers, something that can actually do anything to the Wukong?
The Shanks Akali, they know. They're nowheres, all right? They saw that JDG series. We'll see what the final picks are going to be banned away as here, as it was that mid lane focus for IG, looking at that jungle focus, at least for AL.
Okay, that makes me think we're looking for a control mage for Rookie. I'm going to take a huff of the hopium that it might be a Zoe, but more realistically, it's probably going to be something like the Syndra. I mean, to be honest, Lissandra is still viable, as we actually get the Sylas banned away from AL. You have the Alistar, so I get it. Don't know if it was necessary, but it is something to be scared of.
It's really eyes on Jwei on what he's going to go for. It is going to be the LeBlanc actually banned towards Shanks, just in case. I really want to take away the kind of mid-jungle synergies that could provide with all the lockdown it has. And we'll see exactly what they want to save for this counter pick for AL.
I mean, Rek'Sai is also open if they want to take something that requires a bit less attention. It will be Yorick locked in for Flandre. Good matchup into the Gnar. Can be a massive nuisance, but a lot worse for that team fight utility. And now, Rookie is left to blind pick. For a lot of the champions that are left open, I mean, the Victor is a control mage that is on the table for Shanks to respond with. That's something he's done. He's also picked up the Yone in other spots. But here is the jungle that we were kind of alluding to. Maokai got a few buffs on this patch. It has beaten Tarzan before, and it looks like Jwei will opt for that.
He goes for it as well. We'll see now the pivotal pick. What is Rookie going to pick? The do or die Invictus Gaming mid laner, the guy this brand is built around. It is all eyes on him. What he's willing to do to carry this team to a game 5 against one of the best teams the LPL has to offer. Yone is the pick.
He takes it away from Shanks, a Yone player in himself. Now, how will he respond? What counter does he have in mind? Cassiopeia is still on the table, is available. Annie, something we did see Chovy actually pick up in the LCK finals. It's a very standard pick. It can just be a nuisance. You got that instant CC, something that can really shut down Rookie if you've got enough burst, which I think between a Wukong and a Kai'Sa, you're doing all right for AL on the burst front.
A lot of lockdown, you have a lot of follow-up, and I'm just going to say Flandre, I know it's not as relevant now, but when Yorick first came back into the fold, Flandre was the best Yorick we had in the league, and he was absolutely running those matchups in the top side. We'll see if that's exactly the case here, but I'm really looking at this mid lane. I'm looking at how quickly can they give Rookie resources, and how quickly can he get to those 3 items, because that is your saving grace for IG.
And that's what we said, maybe this is the pivot. If you don't have the champion pools deep enough to put Soboro on a carry, maybe we just give Rookie the ball. I don't think you can really do that more than one of the Wind brothers here. And he has the potential to do it.
If you're gonna go out, you're gonna go out swinging as Rookie, and you're gonna give the guy that made the name of this organization in a lot of ways this respected the sticks here. I'm so happy to see this moment. If this is going to be the last one for IG, they could fully turn this series around and get us to 5 games. I would love nothing more than that, but it is pressure on them. AEL have dominated the 2 games that they have won, and it needs to be an all-front affair for IG. They've got to find whatever it is to keep themselves in this series, keep themselves in this season, and try to make this lower bracket run a reality.
The pressure is so high. Not just for IG, but AL, even though they're in the driver's seat, they still need to be scared.
If IG can get this one over the hump, it is game number 4. Anyone's Legend versus Invictus Gaming. The AL fans move closer to the mics.
Well, it's definitely a rough opening, at least for the mid lane matchup. Rookie taking quite the chunk of his HP there. Does have the fleet footwork and the Doran shield to keep himself going. As far as other notable rune stuff, we have double lethal tempo and double spellbook from the bot layers. This is
back to normalcy.
Normal Yep, this is going to be good for utility.
I expect heals to be popped in 3, 2, 1.
It truly would have been like clockwork.
That would have been hilarious. It is the early heal meta on the bot side. Rookie getting pushed out of his lane early, though, by Shanks. You expect this in the melee matchup against Annie. Remember, Shanks picked this into the Yone at least. And so far, so good on that front. It is going to be the opposite side paths for both junglers, though, with a little bit of vision by both of them once either one wants to clear their raptors.
And
ooh, Tarzan's pinging.
I'm putting the onus on Jwei here, but he really is going to struggle. He has the big Q, so should be able to win a clear smite fight, but Tarzan has been having his number whenever he's got the option. We'll back off. Actually, that is interesting that he decides to half opt for the play and then peel off. The Wukong not remotely as good as farmer.
Go for an invade, maybe? Like he's trying to predict and see what was going to happen, or maybe get a little bit of early advantage for his own right. But as you said, he will be spotted out now, moving down towards that bot side. Rookie going to be continually pressed for prio in the mid lane by Shanks. Get a nice little double knockup from either side. Nice blade collar as well from Photic onto Kael.
And I really want to see Jwei leverage the fact that Maokai has the most disgusting gank of all time of just pressing flash W. And I want to see Shanks die. I want to see Flandre die. They need to be the targets of aggression, but will this ward? Oh, the perfect timing. Barely spots them out.
All right, well, you will have a little bit of vision there. A little bit of knowledge, at least. And right now, it's actually Jwei who's ahead of the play. Yes, Tarzan will be getting his own scuttle here rather shortly. A potential for the read clear to be that much, a little bit faster for Jwei.
Is Jwei about to flush this wall?
There's no way.
He just pinged
no way, Jose.
I think if Soboro had had slightly better skirmishing to that point, I think he was going to flash the wall, just run at them. He's got the phase rush rune, which does mean he's likely got Nimbus Cloak right behind it. So this Maokai can just flash over anything and just run at you at a lot faster speed than you're ready for. We'll be going for the Fated Ashes to speed up that clear, going for the Landry's first item. Very standard for the Maokai to typically go towards that and then opt into more tankier build paths after. Gives an all-important bit of magic damage, considering IG is otherwise all AD. I
was going to say, it's the other little thing to think about is at least he provides a little bit of that AP damage on a holistically AD comp. We're starting to see Rookie. Okay, that is not what you want to see. Solo bolo for Shanks.
Yeah, the Electrocute Ignite proc, a bit more burst than our man in the mid lane was ready for, and that is not what you want to see for IG. Rookie needs to be the driving force, and he is almost down 1,000 gold.
That is very tough, as it is counterpicked, but still you expect a little bit of veterancy to show through for Rookie. Still has a lot of chance here once he gets to those items, as we talked about all along, but we're also seeing some nice heavy trades from AL on the bot side in the 2v2.
It's definitely likely to be a game of devastating team fights, just given the amount of ridiculously impactful tools we have. Alistair, existing, Wukong ultimate, Annie, Flash Tibber's potential, everything that IG does if you press the R button is going to have some kind of disgusting impact on a fight. So I wouldn't say the game is anywhere close to lost off of a slight mid lane deficit, but having Rookie behind makes it a lot easier to kick off those plays in your favor.
6 had been achieved by Shanks. He almost takes down Rookie there. Rookie getting closer and closer to his. You wonder if he's going to be willing to try to get an engage going. Do have some movement here from Tarzan on the map as we take a look back to the solo bolo.
I think it's just Rookie goes in for the farm and he's just simply not ready for it. He does pop instantly, mind you, so Q auto W.
Try to get the W out. I don't think
yeah.
it mattered though.
No, not at all. He was definitely dead to ignite if he pings back, so I'm going to call it a misstep. That's the best you can really say about it. Rookie did not expect that damage from Shanks, and Shanks, a historic Yoni player, clearly knew the matchup.
Oh man, Rookie is having a bad time in mid lane as well. The GOAT of IG struggling early in this game, this pivotal game for their season. As IG is going to try to make a play on top side. This has been a well they have really been willing to return to as the flash comes in from Flandre, the knockback from the Bramble Smash, but I don't think it's going to be enough. They don't get the kill, and now Jwei takes massive chunks and just dies. It's a 1v3 that Flandre turns around.
Just terrible execution. Terrible execution. The thing is, they didn't start off the dive of Jwei, and I think there were just not enough minions that IG felt the pressure to pull the trigger when they just didn't need to. Soboro being at any point tanking the tower there is a problem. You need Rakan, who can jump out of tower range, or Maokai, who can dodge the aggro, to be the one taking it, and then Soboro does all the damage. Expert flash from Flandre to really waste not just that time, but also pick himself up a free kill on the enemy jungler.
Coming out again, bro. Come at me. That's what Flandre says on his Yorick. What an early play. What a massive momentum swing, but we might see that right back. Shanks goes for the all-in with Rookie having committed the Fate Sealed. Shanks gets away as well, and actually Rookie is worse for wear afterwards.
With the flash down, we need to see repeat plays from IG to punish Shanks. Yorick also has no flash. While it isn't typically the kind of roaming champion we expect, Rookie can do stuff in side lanes, but it really has to come off of Jwei and Jwei here to get something done with these mega CC machines. He got it. Tarzan got it.
Tarzan got all of it. He gobbled up all the chicken nuggets, and now that puts him at a little bit of a momentum advantage. We're seeing a wallop come through from Soboro with the Mega Gnar. Just want to try to get that out before it fell. Also killed the Maiden, so that's big value.
That is enough to give him a bit more lane priority, considering we have the Void Grubs spawning right this second. Thank you, League of Legends. Excellent timing. It does mean Jwei has a chance to go and one-shot them. The Maokai Q, that Bramble Smash, does a ridiculous amount of damage to jungle camps. It was recently buffed as well. It's why we've seen this tree show back up in pro play. But unfortunately for IG, one lane's pro is not everything, as Tarzan has the ultimate, can contest.
I mean, he just goes all in here, just takes Jwei's half health here in one little trade. That means Jwei is pushed off of the Grubs, as should be Tarzan's whole objective to keep.
And this is a really, really strong play from Tarzan, because at this point in the game, you don't really want to be getting into a full fight until Wukong has the Triforce. You kind of want to play a bit low-key. Maokai, also not that great in just a straight-up slapfest. And so forcing him away there, while it wasn't a significant cooldown blown from the Maokai, using your ultimate here is as impactful as it's going to be to secure all three Grubs.
Jwei did use the spellbook to get TP back out in the mid lane, but it did not matter. Grub still went to AL. They have a 1,000 gold lead, a little bit more so than that to speak of here, but we will be getting closer and closer to first items. Closer, at least by a little smidgen, towards that scaling that IG is really opting into here.
All things that make your scaling a bit more difficult, is by losing those grubs, it means every time you leave AL alone with a tower, they're going to get a bit extra plate value, And it's those gradual leads is what we saw really take AL to the victory in Game 2. It was no singular big plays, it was just a little bit extra here, a little bit more there, a big trade.
Oh my god, all Rookie wanted was the cannon, and he almost dies anyways. He will have TP to get back, but that was everything just to get one minion wave.
And with the Fate Seal down, it just removes the pressure onto Shanks. Like, Jwei can chuck out the ultimate here, and he will, but I don't think you're going to get anything done. He's way too quick.
TPing in and Nature's Grass gets used, doesn't even land on the Shanks. Just a zoning ult from Jwei as he comes back out on the map, trying to clear up towards his top side.
That is such a colossal whiff that it's really IG's way back into the game. It needs to be Maokai ultimates hitting onto people who can't dodge it or don't have the ability to. And, I mean, Flandre's already going to have his TP up. Rookie gets to claim a plate at least, that's something.
Oh, Soboro's got a really good angle up here. He's about to get Meganar, has Flandre down low. Meganar ult comes out, Wallop comes through, but he doesn't have the damage to stick it. Now the Maiden is starting to heal and thrill through Soboro. That still will be a very good trade from Soboro in the large scheme of things. TP is still going to be available for both top laners, though.
He was so close to being able to get that stun off of the Mega Nart, but it was not able to come through, didn't chain otherwise. There's a potential for him to just continue that trade going and take it to a kill, but with the TP out now... Oh, doesn't he get the cannon? Oh,
yeah,
my
he had
goodness.
to flash. If he doesn't, the minions start coming to get him, or I guess the ghouls. The pandas, if you will. That's what I love so much thematically from Flandre, is every time he plays the Yorick, he picks the panda skin. So they're literally just pandas. Anyone's legend, they're harnessing the power of pandas.
And it's most definitely working this game. Losing that flash on your Nart means that your ability to really go for a counter swing is just gone in the top lane, and it's gone in the mid lane because Rookie hasn't been having any chance to play. And so then we kind of have to draw our eyes down to bottom lane. And they're losing the dragon right in their faces. It's Zyra Khan. We haven't really seen anything come out from either bottom side. And yet, there is an 800 gold lead over to Hope just off of tower plating.
The second dragon completed for AL. Fate Sealed goes wide onto Shanks, and Rookie dies instantaneously. Multiple missed opportunities for Rookie, punished so heavily by anyone's legend. Now Jwei overstayed his play. He goes for a Bramble Smash, try to kill Tarzan. Meanwhile, bot lane, we're getting it all in. Photic trying to take down Hope. He's got the Blade Caller coming up, I'm sure. He's going to use it. It does connect onto Kael. Kael tries to go for the play, but Photic flashes, showing a little bit of that brilliance from the V5 days all the way back. But now Jwei has been caught out by the remaining members of AL here. I don't know how he got between Shanks and between Flandre, but he pays the ultimate price for it and falls.
AL playing a slow, controlled game, only taking fights where they feel confident it is an easy win, and this is the problem. How did IG beat AL off of a aggressive, reckless fight from anyone's legends? They have not given that opportunity to IG yet. There is still the potential for them to get a bit too hyphy and toss it away, but for the sake of AL's confidence going into their match against Weibo should they win this game, I feel like they need to just keep doing this.
I think Photic really wanted to use the duo back there, but he didn't make it back in time to Jwei. So it's fine. He got some plates. That's all that matters. It is a tough position to be in for sure, as AL are looking for a play on the Soboro. He has no idea this is coming, as he gets completely baited, and Kael and Hope show up to the top side. He is mini Gnar, so he'll die very quickly once the lockdowns start coming through. Look at the Void Stinger got hit by the minion. It didn't matter, I guess.
I think it did matter. Hope wouldn't have had the flash if it hit.
Yeah, you know, it happens. I think they're perfectly fine burning those resources. About a 3,000 gold lead now for AL.
And this was the play on to mid.
Please,
Shanks,
no, I don't want to see this again.
He just walks out of it with the Annie speed. It's kind of disgusting. Rookie just completely one-shot. And then they just walk down Jwei. He gets shepherded into the river. Yeah, it's rough. It's really rough. And we're kind of asking how Jwei ended up in this situation. I think if he had just stuck to the right side of the river, he could have walked out fine. But he kind of wanted to turn it into an aggressive play onto Flandre there. Doesn't
Forgot
work
he was
because he
on
gets put in the
Maokai
cage.
for the
Yeah, and then just dies. So Not great, not great. As far as the gap this game, well, we were expecting it to come from jungle, one way or the other.
Oh, that's killer instinct straight into the face of Jwei. Tries to sidestep, but dies. Rookie has to use his Fate Sealed as a defense out of the mid lane while he loses the turret. And everything, the ground that IG is standing on, is beginning to crumble right underneath them.
It is a mega gap from AL right now, and that is the form we wanted to see from him. Going for a try here to take Kael out.
Should be able to. They carve him up nicely. It is going to be the flash denial from Jwei as he gets out with a smidgen of health. Photic gets a really good blade caller after the Featherstorm comes through. And AL realized they need to get a flash from Tarzan to get away from the sapling, by the way. It's going to be Rookie now looking for redemption onto Hope. He does have a lot of distance to cover, doesn't have a lot of damage. Does get a decent chunk onto Hope, but that's it. It is going to be Rift Herald that could be potential on the table for either side, but right now it is AL exerting their presence onto the map.
They are most definitely taking full control. A 5k gold lead at 15 minutes is a bit devastating as Shanks wants to take about the 5.5.
Oh my god, he just dies instantly. I can't even watch, man. This is so brutal.
Okay, counterplay.
Shanks is just behind Soboro now. The TP had been used and Soboro just dies. This is heartbreaking. Again, how much of this story has been repeated across IG's entire winter split? They give you a moment of hope. They give you a moment like, damn, this team can do things. And then this happens and you are just heartbroken on the floor, crying your eyes out.
Really appropriate that Shanks is using the Valentine skin in that case. Just taking the hearts out of the IG fans.
I thought he wasn't going to take the eye just for the spite of it.
Just leave crazy. But as far as hope goes for IG, it is pretty much all but snuffed out. AL playing very resolute. Shanks with such a gross lead in the mid lane. Flandre gross lead in the top lane. Dragon about to spawn. That'll take it to an infernal soul point at 17 minutes. So we get to see... No, I don't want to look. I'm turning away from the computer. Tell me where it's done.
Oh, God, man. It's just so incredibly brutal. The counter pick has worked successfully. It was a very late TP from Soboro. Luckily, we don't have to see that play because the Dragon had been started by IG. Oh, the Rift Herald play. The Rift Herald play from Tarzan. He's going to find backline. Kael just flashes straight onto Rookie. Here comes the killer instinct from Hope, too, on the backline. Fate Sealed hits on the multiple members. They got damage, but it's not nearly enough. The health bars from IG just can't keep up. The gas in the tank has run out. They are running on empty, and AL is full strength.
When I say that AL did everything they could to send it into Blade Caller there and give Photic a chance to do something, they sent everything, and it meant nothing. One person dies from AL despite funneling into a choke against a choke point-centric team. And they still walk away with 3 extra kills and a dragon.
8,000 gold, 18 minutes in, and it will continue to grow. Jwei, he's left out on his lonesome, trying to clear the bot side. Items trying to be completed, but it doesn't matter. AL are too strong.
They just have such a favorable position around the side of it. Force everybody into this little corner here. Jwei jumps in, is able to actually CC Hope briefly with the exhaust and all of the burst from all of these people. IG's able to take down just the ADC, but everybody else just so many stats, so many big ultimates to just wombo combo, and that's the thing. This is the difference between this AL comp and the previous comp with the wombo combo, is this one at least has different tools. You don't have to use them all one after the other on the same target to just kill one guy. You can use them with flexibility, and that is where AL shines, when they are given the chance to just go for these outplays and take the narrow margins of a team fight.
Saving graces now is IG finding picks anywhere they can. I think we're a long way away from a 3-item Yone getting anywhere in this game. Still almost about 2.5 items on Shanks on the opposing side, and Jwei's just going to try to stop them from bullying Rookie again. That's going to be a tier 2 tower on the top side, just falling so incredibly fast.
You are a more optimistic man than I. When you said the saving grace, my first thought is that it's over quickly, because
Quick and painless, huh?
Yeah, this is just terrible. We're about to be at a 10k gold lead in 20 minutes, which is, I would say, a free Baron. Probably should be what AL's looking to pick up. Grab that bad boy and walk it down mid, I would say, because, I mean, IG, they have single items on several members. Photic has 2 items, Jwei has 2 items, that's something. Then we pan over, and every single person on AL outside of support has 2 full completed items. It's so much extra money, so many extra stats. AL could maybe throw at Baron if they just start it without doing any due diligence, but based on the form they're playing with this game, I would be shocked if they give even a moment of hope over to IG here.
It's a situation where it still makes that second game fly up like a big bright red flag for AL. Like, what happened is the question that will remain there. But is this a team that has regained some of that confidence that maybe they were lacking in a few of their games of the series against JDG, and who need to be ready to face off against a scrappy Weibo in the next round?
I mean, yeah, like, even to get to a rematch of JDG or BLG, depending on Flandre.
Oh my god. Bro, you just had to walk into a cemetery with the gravedigger right there. He just smacked you on the shovel, put you in the ground.
Yeah. That ain't right. That ain't right. 404 Flandre enemy.
That's his
laner
job,
not
bro.
found.
What are you doing?
Taking names.
He gets
now,
paid to put people in the dirt.
You can see why. Flandre, an expert player coming into this one. And what is he supposed to... Oh my god.
Oh boy. Can we just like black out the screen for the rest of the series? just let AL do their thing here, because this is disgusting, and it feels so bad for IG, who continuously give hope, but it is AL who reign dominant in this series. They flubbed one time, but it is a team that is stuck together, that is decided this is the team that's going to bring us to the highest highs for the LPL in years, it feels like. And this is a team that's looking to make their own redeeming lower bracket run.
And what we need to see from AL through this game is just a clean end. Just walk it down mid. Do not give a single moment for IG to breathe. If that kill count goes above 3, and it's not because you're diving the fountain for fun at the end, there's a problem. This is such a dominant game state. They're about to have Infernal Soul. They are so ahead on itemization. AL, just clean it out. Don't make it competitive. Like, this needs to be game 2 was an outlier and something that you can work on, because that's kind of how they lost to JDG. They lost to JDG by just giving a few too many of those oopsie, silly early game fights. Lost the game.
Time to lock in. See if they're pretty locked in right now. He's trying to go for another quick play, as IG can't even walk into their own jungle. They're getting a side lane turret with Rookie, so that'd be a nice bounty gold given back, but it's an 11,000 gold lead, and now Soboro is getting chased down by the minions and the ghouls and the maiden. All the PvE bodies coming to fight him as turret sieges have started. We're looking at a double lane push as Nature's Grasp has come out and get blocked up a little bit. Still, though, that's an overextension from IG when they're this far behind, and Kael is using Jwei's own best champion against him here to roughhouse into their base, take an inhib here, and do permanent damage to the base of Invictus Gaming.
Gonna make it so much harder for them to hold on at this point. Go for anything.
They decided to go in. Oh my god. All right, Photic is already gone. Double knockup comes through. It's going to be a double kill going to Shanks. They're looking for even more, and that's just the end of the game. This is 23.5 minutes in. They just gave a triple kill over to Shanks, and that is it. AL, after losing a heartbreaking series against JDG, will find their redemption against IG and move on to face Weibo in the lower bracket.
A very clear statement from this last game. AL make it evident that game 2 is an outlier. We are not that competitive with IG. It's not close. There was a reason we were the top of Group Ascend and they were the bottom.
And for IG, got to give their flowers where it's due. They gave us a run. They took down NIP. They got revenge there. What a beautiful story. This team had struggled all season long. You can see it on their faces. It is heartbreaking, but it is a team that will come back next split in Group Ascend to look for. But now, give it up to AL, the rightful winners of today's series, now going on to face Weibo and trying to figure out if this team is the real deal or not.
Oof. And there goes the captain's badge onto the trophy. And there it goes again onto the trophy. Wow. It's really cool. I really like that as just a thing that we do here. It makes it feel so much more whole as a part of the league. Of everybody really just gets to leave their mark in that way.
I know Rookie's going to want that game back for sure. The Yone did not look good, but I still am excited to see what this team brings to the table in spring next split. I know we were wondering, what is the deal with Mako? What kind of break is he taking? What will Jwei's future look like? I think Jwei had some really good moments in some of their games, some of their series for IG, and it's something to look at for potential teams that are looking for supports or anything like that in the next split, if Mako does come back and earns that spot back from Jwei. But it really is about looking to the future for IG, and I think they'll be happy to bid this season adieu. Yes,
definitely. Prospecting forward, I think I would be quite happy if I was Jwei and Soboro. They have up and down performances, but overall, they look pretty promising, more often than not. When you remember you're playing against what should be the top team in the league, in theory, at very least top 3, that's bare minimum. This is a fine performance. Like, you stole a game off of an early fight, and you were able to make it somewhat competitive in 2 of them. Yes, you got absolutely slapped in the last one, but that's just, if anything, to me saying these are new players, they just need deeper champion pools, right? That was why IG couldn't hold up. They couldn't keep the pressure going in Game 3 because Soboro just ran out of those carries top lane to continue to do the same game plan. Rookie was on the Twisted Fate. He still had the way to facilitate, but it's just something to learn from, and I do see IG being able to put this together if they manage to keep the same roster. If they change it, we'll see what happens there, but now it's all AL, all future.
It is exactly. They'll be facing off against Jwei, but they made it to top 4 here in the split number 1. They did so last year as well. Faulty. It is still something, though, for AL that you just have to wonder, like, if these early games go a bit awry, if Tarzan doesn't really find his groove, what happens to this team against tougher competition like JDG, like Weibo, who've been scrappy as hell, and, you know, Tarzan not playing Vi anymore, probably. I joke. He's probably playing Vi again, but, you know.
Sadly. One thing that does make me a little worried about is facing off against Weibo Elk. Something you need to be quite scared of. Photic didn't really hold the ball down this game when he was given all the marbles. I think if you put Elk in that same situation, you have a very spooky looking game if you're AL. And now, we're going to need to see what they have to do. They only have, what, 2 days now until they play their next match against Weibo? That's not a lot of time to prepare. That's not a lot of time to go back to the drawing board and try and basically shake out these early throws that AL have the tendency to do.
And I just want to say, you know something that I'm a little bit biasly excited about for this next matchup is the reconnection, I guess you would call, of Zika and Tarzan.
Yes.
All the way from the LNG days. We get to, I know we've seen them face off against each other, but that LNG roster is still one of my favorites. It's also when we got to like cast in person as LPL English official and stuff like that. But it's going to be a fun series. We see that series next, Weibo versus AL in that lower bracket. Do or die in that series, and the winner of it will be facing off against the loser of JDG and BLG.
Which, obviously, it wasn't our series to talk about today, but the fact that we have JDG, BLG in the upper bracket, maybe something before the season started people might have predicted, but after the first part of the season happened, I don't think anybody was predicting that.
Not at all. And we see some of the in-game stats. Obviously, Shanks ran away with this game. I think he absolutely deserves the MVP for this one. He did get counterpick into Rookie's Yone, but that solo kill was just a tee-off of many things to come.
I think everybody could tell he had counterpick because he just completely stomped the lane.
Like, there's nothing more questions, to say. All right.
Yeah. That was, you're taking my this champion right Rookie? Oh, Dad, don't. No, this was terrible.
A 1v3 for GOAT Flandre. What the hell, man?
Oh, and this was basically the epitome of the game. I think that one play right there, that's what this game felt like the entire time. IG would throw a punch, and AL would just slightly sidestep, and then just sweep them to the floor.
some plays of all time for sure right there. And it's so funny. This entire reel is just mistakes from IG, which is so unfortunate, but it also highlights some of the way that AL played this entire series. I felt in a lot of the reason why they lost game 2 is because they were kind of just waiting for IG to make mistakes and punish it. And in game 2, they didn't make any mistakes, so they weren't ever able to punish. But it was also a situation where AL played very reserved in a lot of these games, at least until the things broke open.
And if we can see more of that, that is when we start to have serious conversations about AL being an international threat. There's a reason that we have been so hyped on this team sticking together with their full roster. Just because they don't have Tabe doesn't mean they can't do some of that magic. And now it's just about making sure that they stay resolved and they don't allow themselves to get sucked into the chaos early, throw the game, and then not be able to exert their true strength. That is disgusting team fighting. There's a reason this team shows up to every Herald. They love team fighting and they do a damn good job of it.
And we are in top 4. It's top 2 to make it to first stand at the first international event of the year. And that's going to be weighing a lot on the top teams' minds. But the fact that our top teams are now decided is very interesting. Let's see what these next couple matches are going to have in store. But I just want to ask you here, Melvin, before we get going, are there any things that we learned or found out about AL tonight that you want to walk away with?
I feel like it's hard to say learned, because coming into the day, when we did our prep, I said, guys, let's just make sure Tarzan has something he can fight on in the first 5 levels. And then we pick Vi. And then we force a fight on Vi at level 4. I feel like we didn't need to learn this, AL. This was a thing we have evidence of. Let's just now take that evidence and say it's quite a large stack of evidence. Let's use that. Just please don't put Tarzan on champions where he can't fight pre-6. And if you do, don't fight pre-6!
This is all part of the plan of Tarzan. It's like, yes, I'll get to play what I want to play in the playoffs now. That being said, though, that is going to be almost it for us here on the day. Didn't go 5 games, but at least we got 4. Predicted at the beginning of the day, IG are good for a game. Unfortunately, now they'll have to be good for spring because they are out. AL reign triumphant in this series, and we'll move on to play Weibo. Before we get going, though, got to give a huge special shout out to our Elite Coffee supporters as well, Aaron, Soup, and Mung. Coffee support goes a long way to supporting the broadcast in every way, shape, or form. And if you feel like giving back today, please do go check out our coffee. You also get access to podcasts early and potentially asking some interview questions in the future at international events. But that's it from us. It was a splendid series, Melvin, and I look forward to the future of what we have in the top 4 of the LPL playoffs coming up quick over the next couple days. We'll see you now, we'll see you next time, and we'll see you on Summoner